Let's start the new year with a challenge. Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I like making things out of paper, and I like making things cooler. Especially my figures. Sometimes figures don't look all that screen accurate. All they need is a bit of touch-up here and there to unleash their hidden potential. I also love using everyday tools and materials to recreate iconic scenes from my figures, so they can shine on my display. Subscribe to my channel and join my DIY adventure as I ask myself the same question every week. Can I make it? Happy New Year! I recently visited Toys R Us and saw that they had a buy one get one 40% off sale. The sale even applies to items that are on clearance. So I thought maybe it is finally time to get the Sersi figure. When they revealed the Eternals figures, I remember telling myself that I wouldn't be getting any one of them. They all looked badly designed. I did get Thena though, but technically she's not part of the wave. Let's deconstruct this figure. There's an FAQ on the paint and brushes I use in the description box below. I actually don't think the Eternal figures are that bad when it comes to paint apps. I quite like the metallic paint they used, but at a glance, they look too simplistic. The main issue is that these figures don't look like their movie counterparts. Her outfit looks more like a fancy sleepwear than armor. And after comparing the figure with reference images over and over again, I think I finally figured out the main issue. The area below the waist is proportionally too long. In the movie, there's actually a belt-like piece that goes across the abdomen that divides the upper and lower body. The figure is also missing the two pieces of fabric that hang behind her shoulders. Another thing that's missing are the shoulder pads. As for the face, I personally don't like the flowy hair. This hair of hers did not capture Sersi's signature look. For the longest time, I thought there's just no way to save this figure. But now that I have a bit of experience with epoxy putty, I think I can salvage this. Just like the Quicksilver figure from last year, there's no way I can make this worse, right? So, can I make it? Let's start with the waist area. This area has minimal details but is also quite large. I just want to shift the entire cloth piece up to visually shrink this area. All the reference images I found show that the cloth cuts up above the knees. With the way this figure is designed, the cloth here visually drags the look down, giving Sersi this look that's not that complimentary. So, I'm gonna make some cuts to shorten the bottom half of her outfit so we can see more of her upper thighs. Little visual tricks to lengthen her legs more. Okay, this cutting tool is too big. I can actually just use the normal cutting knife. Please be careful and always cut away from your other hand when using a knife. Alright, the cloth is still bothering me. But before I cut it, let me grab my epoxy putty. Let me make sure I can recreate the cloth first, since I'm not sure if shifting the original cloth up will work. Besides, I don't like how narrow the cloth looks. I prefer it wider. The putty is quite sticky. This may pose a problem. I'm gonna cut a rectangular piece. And fold it to make it resemble a piece of fabric. Kinda like this. The putty takes a bit of time to cure, so let me make the other two pieces of cloth behind the shoulders too. Alright, this is the make or break moment. I'm gonna cut this piece off. Cut, cut, cut. That looks weird. Okay, so let's see how it looks if I move the cloth higher. It looks better, I think. Alright, let me put the putty version on instead. That doesn't look right. Oh no, new problem. The putty keeps sticking to the legs. Let me add some masking tape onto the legs to protect them. Hopefully this will keep the putty from sticking onto the legs. Now let me attach the two pieces on her back too. Okay, I added the shoulder pads and ended up taking the masking tape off. The putty started sticking onto the tape too. I just gotta make sure it's not touching the legs as it cures. Let me quickly add the belt piece, and I'll let the putty cure. This is the solution I came up with. I'm leaning the figure slightly forward so the cloth doesn't stick to her legs, and I used a roll of masking tape to keep the pieces on the back curled. The putty hasn't fully cured yet. I can still bend them a bit. I want to give Sersi a windswept look to go with her flowing hair. Time to paint. I only have these 2 green paint and I think that should be enough. Let's start with the darker green. Let's hope this color matches the figure. Now I have doubts. I think the belt piece is still too big, but it's too late for me to modify it. Let me apply the same green onto the rest of the suit so the color matches. Although the metallic green paint is nice, it still lacks dimension. Sersi's suit actually has this splatter gradient effect. There are various shades of green on the suit, so I'm going to use this green as a shading color, and dab it sporadically all over the suit. I tried etching the lines onto the belt. It's not that great, but it's okay. I'm going to use the lighter green color now to create the gradient effect. Again, I'm dabbing the color on and I'm avoiding a fully blended look. Okay, the cloth below the waist has been slowly stretching either due to gravity or due to me finessing with it. It now looks bottom heavy. Let me trim the bottom a bit. No, that looks bad. Let me see if I can fix it before it's fully cured. Okay, I'm back. I think it's stretched again, but it looks more windswept now. I'm gonna try and avoid touching it. So let me work on the paint a bit more. I'm still not satisfied with the green. It's still lacking that deeper green color. But instead of using black, I'm going to use this dark blue instead. If I use the color black, it may reduce the vibrancy of the green. Or worse, I may accidentally apply too much and it will look too harsh. But by using a blue, it will look more subtle, and I will have more control with the overall effect. It may look odd now, but once I apply it to the entire figure, it will make more sense. Okay, I think that's enough. It's starting to look too blue. Let me add a bit of white onto the fabric. And silver on the shoulder pads. Oh, can't forget the pieces of fabric on the back. It's gonna need a couple of layers. Alright, now just gonna dab the green colors again for that gradient look. Dab dab dab. Okay, I think the overall suit is pretty much done now, but it now looks too matte, so let me apply a layer of glossy varnish over it to make it metallic looking again. I'm going to apply it to the suit and avoid the fabric to keep them matte. I am going to brush a small amount of varnish on the front piece to blend the finish a bit. Alright, now it's time to add the smaller details. I'm using a small fine brush to add the silver lines back onto the suit. Luckily, these lines are already molded in, so I can just follow the lines. Okay, this is a bit boring to watch, so let me do the rest off camera. Ta-da! Look at that. The suit looks pretty awesome now. I even did the lines of the fabric. But you know what? I really like Sersi's final powered up look from the Uni-Mind. So I made the lines in the upper torso gold. Gold is a great complementary color against the green, and it adds a bit more complexity to the suit, something the original figure lacked. Okay, this is the real challenge in my opinion. I can't really pinpoint what's wrong with the face, so I rewatched the movie a few times and I think the hair is the main culprit. It looks a bit oversized, and Sersi usually has her hair brushed to the back when she has the costume on. One subtle but crucial element to her look is that you can always see one or both of her ears. And fortunately, they actually sculpted the ears. They're just covered by the hair. So I'm going to cut and remove this piece of hair to give her the signature look and reveal her ear. Let's hope this works. I'm going to cut this off screen. It's too unstable on camera. Okay, cut. It's a small change, but I like it. The cut surface looks a little odd, but it's not that noticeable because her hair is black. Now I'm unsure if I should cut the other side too. The ear is there, but I'll have to cut more on this side. Actually, wait, I can repurpose the other piece of hair and stick it here instead, to add more volume to the hair on this side. Be right back. Okay, I glued the hair on with super glue. I still can't tell if that helped, but let me work on the face now. I'm gonna darken her eyebrows a bit. Oh boy, working with black is always intimidating. I don't want blocky eyebrows, I just want to darken them a bit. Gotta stop breathing. Alright, now for the even tougher challenge. I'm gonna give her darker eyeliner too. Okay, the eyes are done. Not touching them anymore. Let me see if I can add a bit more color to her face. She's not that pale in the movie. I'm gonna stop working on the face before I mess it up. Let me finish it off with the hair. In the movie, Sersi does have black hair, but there's also a bit of brown in her hair too. So let me brush a bit of brown to her hair as highlights. I want the brown to be subtle and natural looking, so I'm only applying a thin layer. Alright, here's the finished head. Although I think it's a great improvement, I don't think I captured Gemma's likeness that well. I think I know why. It's because Gemma has large pupils, but I was too scared to ruin the eyes. But it looks more like Sersi to me now. Here's the finished figure. I can't express how much I love this suit now. The added parts blend right in and aren't distracting at all. The colors and the overall shape of the final outfit looks amazing. It no longer looks like minimal effort was spent, but instead, it looks high-end now. I would totally buy this figure if this was what Hasbro gave us. Brushing one side of the hair back also made the figure look more like Sersi, if you get what I mean. It's just a small detail that changes how you perceive a character. Also, green is such a beautiful color, and there aren't a lot of character designs that are predominantly green. I still need more practice with sculpting the putty. It was stretching slowly and lost a bit of its shape over time, but I'm happy to achieve that windswept look. My favorite thing is the gold I added to the upper body. I know the costume was designed to be silver and green, but these are cool tone colors. Having an accent warm tone color on the suit, especially on the upper torso, makes this figure glow. And best of all, it draws your attention to her face, instead of pulling it down to her knees like the original figure. What do you think? Do you like what I've done? Does this look like Gemma-chan? Let me know down below. I'm glad I started the new year with Sersi. This may sound silly, but this sets the tone for the rest of the year for me. If I can fix Sersi, then I feel more fearless. Let's end this with a photo shoot. Overall, the proportions look much better now. Her torso isn't overly long, so the proportions look much more natural now. I personally prefer Sersi facing this way more than the other way. The added hairpiece does help a little, but it's still a bit too flowy for me. But I understand why they went with this. It kinda works when Sersi is doing an action pose, so it kinda looks like she's in the middle of using her power to transform things into various elements. The two pieces of fabric on her back also adds that sense of movement. Too bad they aren't as flowy as I had them initially. But overall, Sersi is pretty fun to photograph. Maybe it's because I really like this emerald green color. It's such a beautiful color, especially when combined with the silver and gold. Alright, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give this a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. This is a great way to start off the new year. Stay inspired and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.